I know because I'm a reverend, REV in front of my name, that people think of I have a big focus of my life is spiritual growth or spiritual development. And I can't say that that's so. But not that maybe unconsciously that's the underlying thread, but I don't think so. I'm not really a big fan of that phrase spiritual growth, but that's for a different reel. Really, what I want more is some kind of an understanding of what's going on. What I really want is an explanation. For example, who decided that we should have to choose what's for dinner every single day? Now, I don't know that that's actually true for everybody, but sure was for a long time of my life and still pretty much true. And for the rest of my life, like who decided this? So I'm in a bit of a mood today, or I have been for a few days, because frankly, having to choose what's for dinner every day for the rest of my life just seems a bit excessive. And I don't really need anything more excessive in my life. But a while back, I made a reel that was that was telling you that I need supervision, and the truth is, I still need supervision, but in a fun, silly, good way. For instance, why does a package I ordered, but when it arrives, it feels like a gift, right? It feels like a present. Like I can't wait to open it, even though I'm the one who ordered it. But it feels like a surprise, doesn't it? Sometimes it even feels like a reward. Like, ooh, I did good today. Oh, and there's a package. And there's mail that's not a bill. Yay, it's a good day. And yet I act like somebody else did this for me, which is not a complaint. I really love it. And then there's I've said this before, where every single password, and this seems to be going on, somebody told me the other day that Mercury was in retrograde. So that means that anything electronic is going to be cattywampus. And yeah, so that's working out pretty well, frankly. I had Google and Google Chrome interrupt and lock up my computer. I love Google. I love Google Chrome. It's like Big Brother. They're always watching. And as a result of that, I had to go back in and, do some new passwords for a few things. And of course, every password needs one capital letter, one lowercase letter, a number, a symbol, your firstborn, the blood of a unicorn, and a personal, statement of commitment. And meanwhile, my password from 2007 is apparently still too weak. So, I don't know. But you know what? I'm doing my best. And the best part about doing your best, the best part about doing your best is that nobody gets to decide what your best is. Only I do. I get to decide. So every day I wake up, and then at some point in the morning, I check my calendar because there's no way I'm going to remember from last night what I got to do today. So I check my calendar. I negotiate with the alarm clock on my phone, which is sort of like it's kind of like, Your Honor, can I treat this witness as a hostile witness? And so that's what it is with my phone and the alarm clock. And then I come out and, come into the kitchen and get the coffee going. And then I wander around to visit I visit Ophelia and Tallulah and Poppy and Tembo and the whole gang. And they all somebody needs, I need to pull some dead things off, or I need to, dead leaves or flower buds. Somebody needs watering. They all need, conversation. Sometimes I think some people consider that needing supervision. And then, maybe I'll answer some emails. Many of them begin with just circling back, because, email is so helpful now. that if I send an email and if there's been no response, it pops back up to the top of the list, smaller than the other ones. But then there's this little gray box, tiny, it says follow up. So I have to, decide, do I want to follow up? And mostly, yeah, no, not so much. I figured if they haven't answered in a few days, either they don't want to, they don't need to, and frankly, I don't need to be supervised some more with emails. And of course, I'm always wondering if democracy is still here. So far, it is. I eat a banana like I'm fulfilling some kind of contractual obligation. And then, if the morning's going really smoothly, then I go ahead and open up, 11 different tabs in the browser. And one of them is just Googling something I already know. Obviously the coffee hasn't sunk in. And somehow all of this counts as civilization, which makes me laugh. Because I think someday people are going to look back on us and just sort of, I don't know that they're going to say anything. I just think they're going to go, yeah, I'm not so sure about you people. We're tiny, tiny little creatures, and we're living on this spinning rock, and we're flying through infinite space. Just think about that. These, itty bitty little tiny creatures, like smaller than tiny in the scheme of things. And we're spinning on a rock and it's flying through space. I mean, the Earth itself is spinning, and then we're spinning around, the sun, and who knows where it's all going. And we're still debating whether it's too late to send, the email that I was thinking about sending, or we're still debating if you add too many exclamation points at the end of a sentence. Well, that's just unprofessional. And I'm still wondering about that weird noise in my car that I just sort of relegate to, yeah, that's just going to cost me too much money. So I'm going to, so it's not there. Yes, I still need supervision. Honestly, I don't think any of us should be that sure of ourselves. I think when people hire, like if you're that sure of yourself and everything in your life, then you're probably going to scare me. Because I think we're just making it up as we go along. That sounds like a whole lot more fun, right, than having it all together and being sure of myself. And I think I go that route because I've never had it all together. So might as well go with reality. And I'm just making it up as I go along. I mean, what could be more fun? And I have a silliness guru. Here I haven't introduced you to Billy. Billy is a bee. But and Billy sleeps in bed with me. And when I just really, I don't have any words, but I'm like, okay, Billy, I need supervision. I'm just making this up. And Billy's like, okay, sounds good. And frankly, considering the circumstances we're in, I think we're doing surprisingly well. I really do. Even on days where me or maybe somebody else is like, oh, this day can't get any worse. And I'm like, oh, yes, it can. Sure. My best friend Paul, who recently passed away, that was how we would respond to each other. One of us would go, I don't know if these things can get any worse. And the other person would say, oh, of course they can. Sure. Always. Yeah, because we're just making it up. It can always get worse because I always have somebody to supervise me. They don't know it. Like, sometimes people are going to be surprised. You're in charge of me today. And they're like, yeah, no. You're not the boss of me. So I'm waiting for a package so it can feel like a surprise, so I can feel like a reward, so I can have a present. I love presents. I have a very dear friend who did probably the bravest thing ever today. And so that's why I wanted to do this. Just if she watches it, to know the silliness in the world and the goofiness. And we all need supervision. And we all I pray we can all be as brave as she is. So, me and Billy, we're going to go and see what kind of trouble we can get in.